At 6:32 this morning, we know COVID-19 comes with a number of scary symptoms. Some can lead to hospitalization, some can last for months.
For some people, those symptoms can impact them in ways you might not even be aware of. So let's take a minute for a closer look. As of last month, the CDC found the effects of coronavirus can hit most of your body's organs in the long term. Even after you're infected, it can cause things like multi-system inflammatory syndrome, where parts of your body swell. But the CDC says it's not even clear how long these symptoms can last post-infection. All of these effects are part of what's known as long COVID. That's when the clearer signs of COVID, like fatigue, brain fog, headaches, muscle aches, shortness of breath, and fever or loss of taste of smell linger.
And a number of people say that last symptom, loss of taste and smell, can morph into something that's equally frustrating. These people not only lose their smell and their taste, it's become distorted to the point where the foods and the scents that they used to love now almost disgust them. So they are speaking out because they want to let other people know they're not alone. It was a few weeks before Christmas when Bernadette Singer-Kreitzbender started to smell strange things.
As if somebody was standing next to me and the burning end of the cigarette was just in my nasal passage for 3 straight days. And then following that, I lost my smell and my taste completely. So I knew I had COVID.
The mother of 3 from Hamburg started to feel better after about a month, but her senses of smell and taste never fully came back. Then weeks later, she says, things started to change.
Everything I started to eat was like, what is wrong with me? Like this, everything tastes gross. Like, why is this happening?
It's been about 10 weeks since that started. She's lost 26 pounds so far and says she's forcing herself to drink shakes to get the nutrients she needs. One of the few foods that doesn't bother her is olives, so she's eating dozens of them a day.
Olives taste like olives, and that's like nice. You know, olives taste like olives.
Bernadette says almost everything else smells and tastes repulsive.
Imagine a rat that has been dead for 3 weeks. Everything smells like that. Everything tastes like that. Soaps, shampoos, lotions. I cannot wear lotion.
And it's something she says people just don't believe when she tells them. I spoke with ear, nose, and throat doctor Gerald J. Apollon from Buffalo Medical Group. He doesn't treat Bernadette, but he does see 1 or 2 patients a month with similar complaints.
So the thought process with the change is that with COVID, it attacks the supporting cells to the factory nerves. So that's why the sense of smell gets diminished. The small subset is because it could affect the vascular structure around the nerves.
If that happens, the doctor says the nerves themselves can get damaged, and that could be why things don't smell or taste the same. I've had people say, my friends don't believe me, my family doesn't believe me, people think I'm crazy. Are they crazy?
They're not crazy. It's true. It's just things are smelling, tasting different. It's just the way the brain, the nerves heal.
When it first happened, Bernadette searched social media to see if anyone else had a similar story. She found thousands of former COVID patients who say they're going through the same thing.
There's 30,000 people across the nation in this group. I'm not making this up in my head.
In fact, just this one support group has 25,000 followers, many sharing similar stories of having their senses turned upside down. Dr. J. Apollon says one thing that might help is smell training. It's pretty much what it sounds like. A patient takes time each day to smell specific things.
So the idea of the smell training is basically to try to make the neural connections back so that way things will smell like they're supposed to.
Right now, the doctor says we don't know much about this side effect of COVID because even the virus itself is so new. It can be frustrating not to have answers, but he says it's important to check with your doctor and keep in mind other people are going through the same thing.
There's active research going on to look at it, to try to treat it. So there is hope. We just don't have an answer now, but hopefully down the pipeline we will.
Still, he knows it's not an easy wait for the people struggling.
I can't smell my children. I miss the smell of my children and my husband. Like my husband's scent to me is like home. And every time I go to hug him now, I have to turn my face away from him. It's awful.
So I have spoken with a number of people who say they have this issue, even in that Facebook group, and a lot of them say their doctors tell them that they've never seen it, never heard about it. So Dr. Jay Pollan says visit your doctor, but also see a specialist, because you want to make sure you're ruling out anything else that could be happening, and then from there you can start to work together on a plan.
It's these lingering impacts that you almost have to then retrain yourself to smell, taste, and enjoy. I mean, can you imagine eating something that you usually like and it having taste like or smell like a dead animal?
So Bernadette's saying pizza. She used to love chicken wings. She used to love Greek yogurt. She ate it every day. Can't even go near it now.
Wow, that is really something.
It's really interesting, and you know, it's got to be frustrating when they say people don't believe them when they tell that.
Well, you can watch the full story once again on WKBW.com.